The G90 is the flagship sedan for Genesis, meaning it should be suitable for long-distance road trips. But if you are going to take your G90 on a long-distance road trip, just how efficient will it be? Today, we're going to find out. This is Chris here with Daily Motor, and today we've got the real-world highway fuel economy test on the 2023 Genesis G90 with the E-Supercharger. Before we get started, let's hop out and take a look at it. I am such a big enjoyer of large flagship sedans, and this is actually my first time driving a Genesis G90. This car is totally new from the ground up for the 23 model year. Under the hood, we've got a turbocharged 3.5 liter V6 with an E-Supercharger, as I mentioned. You can have this thing with or without it. Overall, very striking and stately looks on this G90. I'm actually a really big fan of what they've done with the styling on this thing. But if you want to learn more about what this G90 has been like to live with, or if you want to hear a sound system demo, make sure you check the links in the description that will lead you to our other videos on this big flagship sedan. But today, our job is to find out how efficient it is, so let's get started. Power closed doors, forged carbon, lots to like about this thing. Anyways though, why do we perform this test? Well, the EPA's fuel economy test, which gives this Genesis G90 with the E-Supercharger 24 MPG on the highway, only averages 48 miles per hour, and we know that some people like to take their cars on actual road trips. So what we're gonna do today is go out 25 miles and back 25 miles, averaging 70 miles per hour to get a more real world figure. A couple of things worth noting for today's test. I'm trying not to get hit by this Corolla here. A couple of things worth noting for today's test. Outside temperature is 61 degrees Fahrenheit. We're going to be running the climate control inside the cabin at 73 degrees auto. Tire pressures have been set to their factory door placard indicated 38 front and 39 rear PSI cold. And we'll be using the same gas pump both times, using the same 3-click filling method to get the most accurate results possible. All right, let's hop out, grab our first fill. Just over 10 gallons going in there for our first fill. I've only been driving this car for like 2 days, but I haven't been averaging the best fuel economy around town. It's been doing anywhere from like 14 to 18 MPG is what I've been seeing on the readout, so probably quite accurate. Anyways, let's go ahead, hop in, and get started. Trip is reset. Climate has been set to 73 auto. Let's go ahead and embark on our journey here with the Genesis G90. So, only a few drive modes here to go through today. We've got Eco, Comfort, Sport, and Chauffeur. Of course, today we will just be sticking with Eco mode, but I appreciate that they have this kind of gimmicky Chauffeur mode. It's kind of just like an ultra comfort mode. It smooths things out even more than Comfort does. Anyways though, highway's about a half mile away. I will let you all know once I am merging on. Now, the purpose of this test is not to hypermile. I'm simply going to merge onto the freeway, set the cruise control to a GPS indicated 72 miles per hour, and just drive like any normal person would. I'm not going to be doing any drafting or anything silly like that. Just going to merge on here safely, get our speed set, and we'll be good to go. Really able to use that low-end torque of this twin-turbo 3.5 liter. Don't have to rev it out too much. There we are. Let's see if that 72 lines up with our GPS. We've got a ton of driver aids here in this Genesis G90, including lane keep and steering assist. We've got a hold to turn lane keep on, and then press once to turn steering assist on. And then you can also adjust your distance for your radar cruise with this button here. Looks like we're going to have to run cruise at 73 in order to translate to 72 there on our GPS. Okay. Yep, that looks good. We will keep an eye on that as we run the test, but overall, under first impressions, this thing is exactly what you'd expect. It is absolutely whisper quiet. In fact, I could just whisper the rest of this and you'd all be able to hear me. It's incredible how quiet they make this thing even on the 21-inch wheels that we're riding on today. So, I'm going to look forward to my journey. We've also got a Bang & Olufsen sound system in here that is pretty dang good. Again, make sure you watch Charlie's video over on DM Sound if you're interested to see how that performs. Otherwise, though, I've got perfume, I've got everything I need in this Genesis G90. So I'm going to go ahead and buckle down here for the next 45 or so miles, and I'll catch up with you all once I am towards the end of my journey in the G90. Wrapping up our drive here in the Genesis G90, and indicated on the cluster 30 MPG, so 6 MPG higher than EPA's estimate of 24. I'm not really surprised. We've been seeing a lot of cars come out on top. The BMW 7 Series just recently beat its EPA estimate of 26 by 5 MPG, scoring 31 just a couple of weeks ago. So it's nice to see the Genesis G90 at least appearing to come out on top. So how was the journey? Well, the journey was quite nice. I was surrounded by my Bang & Olufsen sound system and very nice, cozy massaging seats, though I did not run the massage functions on the test, so don't worry. But if I wanted to, they would be there for me. This is just a nice place to be in this car, and as it should be as a big flagship sedan. So I'm very pleased with the G90 so far, and also just from a living with it standpoint, it's been very nice to drive over the last couple of days. So I'm going to do my last little bit here down to the gas station. It's just down around the corner here. I'm going to brim the tank with 93 octane premium fuel, and I will let you know how the G90 did here in just a second. I also want to mention that the driver aids in this car seem to be a little less nervous than some other Korean counterparts, and there are some settings that you can go in and change as far as how this system reacts, but this one does a pretty dang good job as far as coming up on a car and being able to maneuver around it without the car nervously slamming on its brakes was definitely nice. So one of the more refined systems here in this Genesis G90. 1.72 gallons going in there for our final fill. Using premium fuel, of course. Okay, top in and see how we did. Today's journey was 54.58 miles. We'll go ahead and divide that by the 1.72 gallons of premium fuel that we put into the Genesis G90, and that gives us 31.7 MPG. Now, a little bit of a discrepancy. We're reading out just about 30 on the cluster, and this is actually rounding up to 32. So I'm going to go ahead and meet smack dab in the middle and award this Genesis G90 with 31 MPG, a pretty dang impressive figure when you consider EPA's estimate for this car is 24. Now let's go ahead and multiply this number by 19.3, as that is our fuel tank capacity, and that gives you an effective highway cruising range of 610 miles. So a pretty good cruising range with this car, pretty big tank, and a pretty dang efficient flagship sedan. Now, when you compare this to the BMW 760i with its twin turbocharged V8 that got pretty much the same readout of 31 MPG, it does seem less impressive, but still consider that this is a V6 with forced induction that has to carry around this big body all-wheel drive sedan. So I would say that 31 MPG is still plenty impressive and very much adequate for this Genesis G90. So there you go, 31 MPG, 610 miles of effective highway cruising range, and that's the Genesis G90. If you are curious to learn more about this car, make sure you check the links in the description. That'll lead you to our full comprehensive review as well as our sound system test. But for the fuel economy test, that will wrap it up for us today. Thank you all so much for watching. This has been Chris here with Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.